Hi, so you've seen my video on how to make the Minecraft figure. Now I'm going to show you how to make this fantastic cake. So I've got my green sugar paste. So I'm going to put some icing sugar down and just roll it out. Now that's probably about right. So if you get your board, you can just measure and that's perfect. So if you now put a little bit of cool boiled water, I've just got it on some kitchen roll, just wipe it on your board. This is so that the sugar paste will stick. And then just pop it on top like that. Now, with a palette knife or a sharp knife, just neaten the edge. Oop. All the way round. Just give it a rub like that, just to neaten it off. Now we're going to make these squares on our cake, so I'm just going to use a palette knife. So I'm going to start one side. You want to try and get them as even as you can. All the way across, and then the same going the other way. There we go. And that gives us our square look for our cake. So I'm going to pop that to one side, and now we're going to cover the main cake. So I'm using a dummy. Obviously you will have your cake all covered in buttercream. So I'm going to pop that to one side. You want it on another board. This will help when you come to cover it. So knead your sugar paste. And then some more icing sugar. Oop, going everywhere. You want to try and keep it as square as you can when you're covering a square cake. And then keep turning it so it doesn't stick. We are nearly there. You can kind of measure roughly what you need. So I think we are nearly there, a little bit more. Okay, I think we will give that a go. Okay, so let's bring the cake back in. Don't do that. Bring the cake back in and just pop the icing on top like that. Now if you've got a smoother, just smooth the top, and then if you lift it up slightly, then you can just ease it into the edges like that. And then what you want to do is cut the excess away. So you could either use a knife. I'm going to use the side of my smoother just to cut the edges away like that. Okay. And then with a knife, you can just push it in at the bottom, all the way round. Okay. Like that. And you can just smooth it with your hands. If you have a smoother, then just give it a little rub all the way round. Don't worry too much, you're going to be sticking some blocks on there. So now we want to put this onto our board. So we're going to bring our board back in and very carefully lift it off. Now if you were going to make a cake, what I should have said is you would place your cake onto a single thick card the same size as your cake, and then that makes lifting it much easier. There we go. So if you put it near to the back, it leaves space for the lettering. So for the lettering, I've cut out these using some PME cutters, and I'm going to show you how I've done that. I'm going to write the name Ben for my cake. So you can just place, oh, I broke one, pop that back together. You would never know I've broken that one. Don't tell anyone. Right. Okay. So I'll show you how I did the lettering. So I've got some grey sugar paste. So we're going to roll that out. Now on mine, I've used a texture sheet. But what you could use is some foil scrunched up, and you can just press it in to the sugar paste and give it a lovely embossed look like that. Okay, and then with your lettering, just cut out your name. Okay. And then I've used this tool. You could use a knife if you had one, and I've just made some markings. Now that was a cone tool that I was using, but if you don't have one of those, you could just use a knife and just make some markings in the end. So there's the name for the top of the cake, and then I've made a block on the top of my cake. So I've just cut it out of black sugar paste, and then using the palette knife, do the markings and make sure you do them along the sides as well, like that. And then you can stick the word in on with some edible glue. Nope. There. There we go, and that's all ready to go on your cake. Okay, all my lettering is now stuck on my cake with edible glue, and I've stuck that top bit on there as well. So now we just need to decorate the whole cake with our squares. So there's several different things you can do for the squares. The way I did mine was I've used a patchwork cutter, so you get them all exactly the same, quite quick and easy. Now I've actually used some texture sheets for mine. If you don't have the texture sheets, this is a set of 4. You can use the foil, or if there's anything in your cupboard that's obviously food safe, you can use that. And I've just pressed down the texture sheet onto my sugar paste on part of it, because I've done them all different. I thought it would look better. Or you just keep them plain, totally up to you. It's your cake, your design. So with the patchwork cutter, you would just press it down. And you can make all these in advance before you've even made your cake. Just get all the squares made. And then you can just push those out and you've got some squares. So there's that way. If you don't have one of those at home, which not everyone will, you can cut freehand with a knife. You could either mark it out with a ruler first, or if you've got a steady eye, you could just cut your squares like that, so they don't look too different. Okay, so now we're going to stick them all on. So I've got my edible glue here. So I've got all different colours. I've got woodland going on, I've got some sort of wood bark and blues, you know, for a river. So I think I'm going to create some water, a waterfall coming down. I think it looks nice as well if you don't cover the whole of it. So if you just cover part of it, you don't need to put them all over the cake. So, like this. And then we're going to bring in some green, I think. Nope, nope. There we go. And then let's bring some woodland, some woody bits in there. You can really see how it is taking shape now. If you find that you get here and it, you know, you've got a bit of a gap, you can see here on the main cake I've actually made some that just bend round the corner. And then just continue like that with your blocks all the way round and on the top of your cake. And then what I've made is a little square here. So I'm just going to cover this with some blocks. Just another idea. There we go. And one on the top. And we can stick that on. That's really starting to take shape. So I've been finishing off putting some more blocks on my cake and I'm quite happy with that now. So now I'm going to do some little finishing touches. So I'm going to make some dynamite. I don't think any Minecraft cake would be complete without the dynamite. So I've got some red sugar paste, and if you just use something like this, smoother, or you could use a palette knife like that if you don't have one of these. So make it all nice and square. And then I've cut a strip of white and I'm going to stick that all the way around the middle. But first, actually, before I do that, I'm actually going to make some markings for my dynamite. Okay, now I'm going to stick the white around the middle. So I think I'll actually put it onto the dynamite and then wrap that all the way round like that, and then cut any excess off like that. And then I'm going to use an edible pen. This is a really quick and easy way of doing lettering. On the other cake I've used some cutters. You can see I've done cutters on that one. But if you haven't got the cutters, then an edible pen is the next best thing. So we're going to write T, N, T. And you could do this all the way round your TNT. And then to finish it off, we've got the little bit of ignition there, the wire part. There we go. I'm not an expert in dynamite, but that looks pretty good. So then we're going to stick that on with a bit of edible glue. I think I'll put it on there, like that. And then what we're going to do next, we're going to spray it with this glaze spray. Now this will actually give a lovely shine to your cake. So if you've got any dirty marks from icing, sugar or anything like this, this will clean all those marks. I'll give that a good spray all the way round. And we've got some ribbon to go round our board because we've covered our board. We don't want to have that like that. Now I've used some double-sided sticky tape just around my board, but you could use some Pritt stick. And this is just a 15mm ribbon. Now another nice touch, if you wanted to go to the extra little effort, is I've got some black dust here. So what you could do on the dynamite, you could just dust in those parts there. Just gives it an added depth. And then you could also, where you've done the markings on the lettering, if you wanted to, you could just use a little dust and just dust inside there. And then the last thing that you need to do is place your man on the board. So we're going to put a little bit of edible glue, or you could use a bit of royal icing on his feet. We're going to place him on the board there. There we go. I hope you enjoyed the video and good luck.